It began as an ordinary drive across Nevada, a route I had taken dozens of times before. My GPS, dutifully mounted on the dash, hummed with quiet confidence as it guided me along empty roads that stretched endlessly into the desert night. The sun had long vanished, leaving behind only thin wisps of orange fading over the horizon. Then, without warning, the GPS blinked. The map spun for a moment, recalibrating before giving me a soft, mechanical whisper, "Turn left in 200 feet." I hesitated, glancing at the empty expanse ahead, a turn where no road should have existed. Curiosity got the better of me. I slowed down, headlights slicing through low-lying fog, and found what seemed like the start of a dirt trail winding between jagged rock formations. The GPS insisted it was the fastest route back to the main highway. As I took the turn, dust spiraled in the red glow of my taillights. The silence pressed in, broken only by the crunch of tires over gravel. My cell signal dropped to zero, and even the sky above felt unnaturally still, hiding stars behind a pale haze. Minutes turned into half an hour, then longer. The GPS showed a thin gray line, no road number, no towns ahead. I should have turned back, but it felt as though the machine had a quiet pull, its voice steadier than my own heartbeat. Then I saw it, the faint outline of buildings materializing through the fog, their shapes twisted and skeletal like corpses of a town long dead. A rusted sign leaned sideways, its letters mostly gone except for one word, "Welcome." My headlights swept over rows of collapsed houses, shattered windows, and faded billboards announcing an old mining community. The GPS calmly said, "You have arrived." But arrived where? There was no one, no movement, not even the chirp of insects. I parked near what looked like a diner. The sign still flickered faintly, as if drawing power from nowhere. Inside, the red vinyl booths were coated in dust, yet a coffee cup sat on the counter, half full, steam curling faintly upward. I froze, staring at that impossible steam. My mind insisted it was some temperature trick, some residual heat. But the room carried the smell of fresh coffee, rich and bitter, cutting sharply through the decay surrounding me. The GPS blinked again on the dashboard, its screen dimming. Lines of coordinates began scrolling rapidly, unreadable strings of numbers, and then stopped on a single word that burned across the screen, "Run." I stumbled backward out of the diner, scanning the silent street for any movement. Doors creaked softly in the wind, yet no wind seemed to be blowing. My car idled quietly, exhaust rising like a ghost into the fog that now thickened around every corner. Shapes appeared in the mist, figures, maybe. I blinked, and they were gone. The old building seemed to breathe, wooden frames flexing under unseen pressure. Somewhere far off, a faint hum resonated, like electricity trapped in the earth. The GPS spoke again, whispering directions that made no sense. "Turn right. Proceed 200 feet. The voice was lower now, almost human, trembling as though aware of something lurking closer than I could see. Following instinct, or perhaps fear, I jumped into the driver's seat and gunned the engine. The headlights illuminated a crumbling church steeple ahead. Its bell swung slowly, though no wind touched it, and the faint tone echoed through the hollow streets like a warning. GPS rerouted again, the map spinning wildly, roads overlapping and collapsing into one another. It was as if the digital world could not understand where I was, or what this place had become. The machine sounded panicked, almost alive. I floored it, tires screeching against loose gravel. The main road should have been behind me by now, but every direction led back to the same intersection. 4 roads, 4 corners, one flickering street lamp endlessly repeating. I stepped out, heart pounding, staring down each road as flakes of white dust swirled up from the cracked pavement. In that moment, I heard footsteps, slow, measured, deliberate. Not echoes, but the sound of something approaching through the fog. I turned sharply and caught the faint silhouette of a man near the diner. He moved unnaturally, his limbs jerky, as if remembering how to walk. When my headlights touched him, his figure flickered, like static on an old television. He stopped mid-step, head tilting slowly upward, revealing hollow eyes glowing faintly blue. I could swear his lips moved before the words came through the car speakers, distorted and metallic, "You were never meant to find this place." Panicked, I threw the car into reverse and floored it again. The road stretched on, but the town refused to end, buildings looping backward, signs repeating, landmarks reappearing where they shouldn't exist. Reality itself twisted into an endless replay. My GPS screen vibrated violently, emitting a shrill tone before freezing on a strange map, a circle drawn around my position. Beneath it read, "Loop engaged." I slammed my fist on the dashboard just as the headlights sputtered out. In complete darkness, the only sound was my ragged breathing. The air tasted metallic, like burnt wires or ozone. The moment I opened my door, light suddenly flooded back, the same street, the same diner, as if nothing had changed. I screamed into the emptiness, demanding some sign of life or reason. The echo returned delayed, distorted, as if many voices were mimicking me with a fraction of a second behind. Each echo grew weaker, until it stopped responding altogether. Out of desperation, I checked my phone again. Somehow, bars returned, but the time made no sense. It read April 22, 1962. The device was functional, but its display belonged to another era. A low rumble shook the street. The diner lights dimmed and brightened again. For a second, I saw dozens of silhouettes through the windows, shadowy patrons seated at every booth, motionless, heads bowed as though whispering prayers. GPS voice became clear again, "Proceed to exit. Follow the light." A single beam appeared in the distance, golden and precise, piercing through the fog. It looked artificial, like a doorway projected from nowhere. I didn't think, I drove straight toward it, accelerating until the car rattled. The light grew larger, pulsing in sync with my racing heartbeat. Then, with a blinding flash, the world around me dissolved into endless white silence. When the light faded, I was alone on a paved highway under a clean morning sky. The GPS calmly recalculated, as though the night had never happened. A green sign ahead read, "Welcome to Enterprise, population 3,200. I pulled over, inspecting the car for dust or signs of the ghost town. There were none, no dirt, no scratches, no memory except the faint smell of burnt coffee lingering on my jacket. My dashboard clock blinked 12:00 repeatedly. Back home, I tried searching for that ghost town online. Nothing came up, not a single map record or historical mention. Yet every night since, my GPS has flickered to life at the same hour, whispering, "Continue route." Friends say it's stress, that I fell asleep behind the wheel. But deep down, I know I didn't dream it. Somewhere out there, those empty streets still exist, waiting for another traveler to take that impossible left. Sometimes, I hear static through my car radio when driving alone. Amid the distortion, a fragmented voice slips through, the same one that once told me to run. It sounds almost pleading, like it's trapped within a signal loop. Experts I've spoken with call it a miscommunication between satellites. They say such routes occasionally appear when GPS systems cross outdated map layers. But none can explain how coordinates from 1962 appeared on a modern device. Now, every time I switch on my GPS, I glance twice before trusting it. If the screen ever dims and that same cold voice says, "Turn left in 200 feet, I'll throw the device out the window, and keep driving straight ahead." Because that night taught me something. Sometimes machines remember places that the world wants to forget. And when you follow where they lead, you risk crossing into a map that was never meant for the living. A glitch in the matrix, or a haunting, call it what you will. But somewhere between coordinates and consciousness, there's a road looping forever through a town that time erased, and it's still waiting for the next lost signal to arrive.